Are they your friend or are they just the beneficiary? Do you even know the difference? Do you want to find out? So welcome to Real Talk with Auntie O. So, I think that we are so used to grouping everything, every sort of relationship we have with people under this wide, broad blanket of friendship, or this umbrella of friendship, that sometimes we fail to see that some of these people are not friends and they're just beneficiaries. So a beneficiary is someone that you help in one way or the other, say financial or any other way. And the reason I'm talking about this today, you'd see at the end, it's just to be clear. It helps to be clear what sort of position people occupy in your lives, just so that you manage your expectations and things like that. Friendships to me are formed because of shared values, shared experiences, shared interests. So take someone, for example, who attended the same school, even your classmates. You're not friends with all of them, so even when you have a shared experience with people, it doesn't then mean that you have a long-lasting friendship out of that. So there is the shared experiences, but you then find that, okay, even if we are all classmates, there is this one or two people who we share the same values, maybe the same interests, the same goals or something, and that's how friendships primarily are formed. A benefactor-beneficiary relationship, on the other hand, is formed because someone has a need that you are able to meet. So in this discussion, I'm talking about you being the benefactor and the other person being the beneficiary. So this person has a need that you are in a position to meet, and that's kind of the core. That's the core of the relationship. That's what sometimes starts the relationship, and that's what most times keep the relationship going, and most communications are centered around you meeting that need. Okay, so what are some of the differences between this sort of relationships? I'm looking at differences between a friendship and a benefactor-beneficiary type relationship. One of them is communication. So in friendships, you'd find that communication, one, is both ways, and you would communicate in good and bad times, and you would communicate about a wide range of different, topics and subjects, So a friend would generally call you up and, you just talk about whatever it is. Good times, or I've got a party, do you want to come, or bad times. And don't get me wrong, even in friendships, there's sometimes that your friend would be in dire needs and you'll be the person that they will think about calling to say, oh, actually, I just need whatever for so long, can you lend me this amount of money or something like that. That happens in friendships. So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but that's not the core of the relationship that you have with a person. On the other hand, a purely benefactor-beneficiary relationship is always centered around their needs. So when they meet, typically they would first of all get in touch with you at the point of their need. So even if it's someone that you've known before, so there are people, for example, from years back, from my university, from my secondary school, you might even be friends on Facebook because they discover you and they recognize you, and you might be there silent, they're not talking to you, you're not talking to them for years, and then one day when a need arises, then they message you, and some of them just come straight on and say, oh, hi, how are you, long time, I need this. Some others would probably try and talk to you for a day or two, and before dropping their need, it's the same thing, it's just different approaches. But typically those sort of relationships, really the communication centers around that need. I need this, are you able to meet it? And you have that conversation, and maybe you meet it, and some of them would just go away. You probably never hear from them again until the next time. Some of them would occasionally, and you see it's sporadically, just, oh, hi, how are you doing? Just because they want to keep that line hot, they want to keep that communication warm between both of you. So that's one of the differences in my mind between a friendship and this benefactor-beneficiary type communication. And then a second thing for me would be help. So yes, friends help each other, but in a typical friendship, the help could be mutual. It could be both ways. So friends would help each other. So I've got friends that hey, there's been times where I've gone, oh, can you do this for me? And they would say, can you do that for me? But again, like I said before, the friendship was formed before any of that need. We were friends. You would have been friends for a while, but then you find that, oh, actually, I need something, and I think this person might be, and then it's mutual in the sense that they could ask something else or even the same thing of me. It depends, but generally in friendships, help is mutual. We don't count. It's not like, okay, I've helped you once, you must help me once. It's not that sort of thing, but you just know that, okay, this is mutual. It might well be that, yeah, generally you're helping out more than they're helping, but that it's a friendship, and they're not, the core of your friendship does not really center around meeting anyone's needs. However, in a benefactor-beneficiary type relationship, the help is mainly one way. So you're helping this person, they're not helping you maybe because they're not in a position to help you. They don't have, they might not have the sort of things that you may need, but generally the help flows one way. It's always flowing from the benefactor to the beneficiary. To me, that's one of the core ways and you've got to put everything together, really. Like I said, how did this friendship start in the first place? And then if we look at the flow of help or funds or whatever, which way is it going? If it's going that way, then maybe it is. And it's not a bad thing. We'll come to that. It's not a bad thing in itself. It's just knowing what sort of relationship you are in with this person. I think that's just what this that's the whole point of it, just knowing what it is that's between both of you. Thirdly, friendships generally might last for a lifetime or will just naturally move on. And I've talked about it I think in another video. People move on, we outgrow each other. Maybe people travel to a different country or move far away. And naturally, yes, some friendships will just fizzle out. You don't have any ill feeling towards them. They don't have anything like that towards you. But, you just know that, oh, actually, I used to talk to this person every day once upon a time, but now we've gone the whole 6 months without talking, but we're good, and that's what happens with friendships. But in a benefactor-beneficiary relationship, you'd find that when they no longer need your help, let's say this person you're helping financially suddenly wins the lottery or something, then that relationship will just fizzle out. Or secondly, when you're now no longer in a position to help them. So I generally find, I've been in a few of this, so I speak out of experience. I generally find that the first time you say, oh, actually, sorry, I don't have, I can't help you this time, things start to quieting down because, hey, the person would go to the next person, and so you become, you're no longer profitable to them. So generally, those sort of relationships would end when there is no longer a need to be met, or you're no longer in a position, or you're no longer willing to be meeting that need. So as I've been saying throughout this, it's not the fact that you are in a beneficiary relationship. That in itself is not a problem. Like it is what it is in life. There would always be people on our path that we must help, just as we've been helped in one way or the other by others. So that's not the problem in itself. But I think that the most important thing is knowing what it is. And why I say that is because you might have some expectations that may not be met, and you would then find that you're disappointed. So I once had one of my many such relationships that I thought it was a friendship with a lady, and it was just one way. It was, help me, give me, and I was at a point in my life where I was vulnerable myself, and I think that's not a good place to be when you're vulnerable and you want to make friends at all costs. I think that's where I was, and I was used by this person for a very long time without even knowing, and it took me feeling better about myself, about things improving, to realize that, oh, actually, this person only speaks to me, like this particular one, she would only contact me on my payday. She knew my payday, so she would wait till that time of the month, and then she would just send a message, oh, how are you? Oh, it's really bad here, my kids and that. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry. I didn't have a lot, but I just felt like, you feel like, okay, this person has it worse than me, something like that. It was, at that point I realized that there was a pattern. And then I said, sorry, I've got too much going on this month. I can't help you. And that was really the last time I heard from her. Okay, no, I did hear from her again. And that was, so then I was kind of unwell at a point. And I did ask her for help. It wasn't financial or anything. I just said, can you help me? I can't remember what it was. And she was going to charge me. She said, you're going to pay. And I thought, okay, And I thought, okay, like it wasn't even business or anything. It was like, I can't really remember the details, and I don't want to give too much, just because. And and then she says, you're going to pay. And I said, okay, that's fine. How much? And, she was going to charge more than I would have gotten, like, if I went out to get it. And this is someone that I had for the past maybe nearly a year just given, extended myself in impossible ways just to see that she was okay. And I was really disappointed. And I did say, I thought we were friends. And I said to her, even if I had never done anything for you at all, I'd expect that you do this for a friend, for someone you call a friend. Then to make it worse, I've done so much for you, and you know that. And she kind of went off on a rant and everything. And she came back later to apologize, but I think the deed was done at that time. And I just felt, okay, that's it now. So I think that was one of my first major experiences. Like that was one of the first times I told myself, you need to define this thing. And then I met someone else. At that time, I was just a little bit wiser, and similar things happened, but I wasn't as foolish as the first time, in fairness to myself. But again, you could just see that this lady was there. I mean, the friendship really started. The second one, the friendship really started from, we were in a course together, and I just realized that it was taking her along. It was stressful for her to get there because she didn't drive, and she would take one or two buses, and she would always come late. And I did say to her, I said, even if it's outside of my way, I'm happy to drop you. That was really like again, going back to my first point, that was how the friendship or relationship started. And again, I wasn't wise enough to realize that, that's the core of this friendship. You being able to help her, give her lifts. And then from lifts, it became other things, shopping, help me with some money, help me with some this and things like that. This time around, I think I wasn't as stupid, but again, I took her for a friend until the day I stopped, and gosh, that was bloody. That was bad. For some reason, that ended so bad just because I stopped. And she sent all these text messages and really bombarded me from night till morning. And this wasn't the time when you could block someone so easily. I remember just having to put up with the text messages until I got to work and spoke to a colleague who was very IT savvy, and he did some things and he blocked it. But literally the things this lady said on the text, I just thought, whoa, okay. So yeah, the message here is just look at the sort of relationships you have with people. Be very clear about it. There's nothing wrong. It helps you to manage your expectations. It helps you as well to know how far you're ready to extend yourself for people, and then just class people into, okay, this is a friend. So I've got friends, that if they come to me today, and the thing is, friends don't really demand too much of you, that. But if they come, you're willing to do what it takes to get them comfortable. But then they're just people that the core of your relationship is all around please, I can't do this, please help me. Okay, thank you. They might call you a friend. That's the thing. So they would call you a friend because, to them you're a friend, but to you they might not be your friend. Who's to say they might be able to help you in the future? Who knows? But it's just good to understand, the sort of dynamics in relationships with people, and just manage your expectations accordingly. Thank you.